Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Less Known Classics. This is episode number 23, 27, and Doubleshot 2221. I got two DC trades. This first one is a crossover. Well, it's a crossover that my friend Tivia decided to put on his worst comics list. I do disagree with that particular opinion. It is not a terrible comic. The other comic it ties into one of the comics that he did put on the list is tying this book. Yeah, I agree the book is bad. And that's Dark Crisis Young Justice. That's awful. Because you're a really terrible writer. This is basically Dark Crisis Infinite Earths. Now, before I talk about the actual storyline itself, originally the story was called Dark Crisis. And in issue 4, for some strange reason, they changed the name to On Infinite Earths. It is by far one of the most strangest ideas I have ever seen for DC Comics. One person pointed out, though, when this name change was made, say, just let it go. Don't have to keep constantly bringing up Crisis Infinite Earths. It's not necessary. This book collects basically Justice League Volume 475, the last issue of that book, which I didn't know at that point that was the last issue until someone pointed out. Yep. We also have basically the entire 7-issue series, issue 0, along with the Free Comic Day issue. Death of the Justice League, this is a prelude to Dark Crisis, because mostly they are investing now. Basically, it's, like I said, it's a prelude. So, yeah, like a lot of the stuff related to the Justice League, basically they're teleported to the Hall of Heroes, basically, where it's led by basically President Superman from one of the Ultimate, or I think the last Superman song was back in the Superman arc for PJ Tomas's run. So most of there's a big crisis coming, and then eventually and then Pariah shows up. Yes, Pariah, which I think, as far as I can tell, this is the first time he's ever appeared post Flashpoint. Because here's the thing about this guy. It's like Marvel and George Perez hyped him up in the original story, Crisis Infinite Earths, and then nothing. No, seriously. Frickin' nothing with this character for decades. And then basically he's involved in this book. Yeah, it is one of the most strangest ideas I've ever seen. Yeah. And here's the thing. This is the same guy. Yeah. So apparently he did die at one point. Yeah, he did die. He was killed in Villains United number 6. You're thinking, really? Yeah, that's where they said they kill him off for some strange reason. I don't know why, but they didn't. They brought back in Blackest Night, then he got brought. Apparently, he was seen in Just America's Vibe. I don't remember seeing him there. But apparently, it was a quick cameo, and here he's appeared in this book here. Was the first time he's appeared in Infinite Crisis number 6. Yeah, so Measures of the Great Darkness, and then pretty much basically, yeah, then as a prelude to this, we had Justice League Incarnate, which I haven't needed to cover that one. And then we have this book in particular, which has the book end with the apparent death of the entire Justice League. Well, they didn't really confirm this anyways. They just basically all apparently died, except for Black Adam and Black Canary. Yes. So they all die at the end of this issue because Pariah has got the Great Darkness. Thing is controlling him. And of course, basically, he has under his control, get this, he has Eclipso, Darkseid, Necron, I think that's Ares, Neron, apparently the Spectre, yes, the frickin' Spectre, who's alive, and the Upside Down Man. You're thinking, what? Yes. From Justice League Dark, he's here too. And you're thinking, really? Yeah, really. Yeah, then pretty much, like, they fight and then they all die. And, well, yeah. And everyone's wondering, where is Justice League? And then kind of like a recap. Basically, I love the splash page of the various Justice Leagues over the years. We have the lineup from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the Grant Morrison 90s run, the 2000s look like the Brian Meltzer lineup. You have the the Jeff Johns lineup, which is so awesome. It's like anything that starts a decade, basically, is like that. But here's the thing. The 60s one, okay, that's fine. That's kind of the startish. There's a couple here that get wrong. For one thing, the JLA incarnation, that's from the late 80s. And same thing with the Grant Morrison JLA. That's from the late 90s. Yep. So yeah, and Clayface is, well, working here. Yeah, and basically this whole issue is written by Josh Williamson or by Jim Chung, who does a great job. So, Justice League are missing. They think they're dead. And, like, the Dark Crisis is happening. So, Hal Jordan comes to play in this story. Yeah, he does play a part in this story, which is quite nice. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, your primary players in this book are John Kent, Damian, Black Adam. So they form a version of the Justice League in this book. Yep. Yeah. Where the team is comprised of, so basically Aquaman, you have John basically forms his own Justice League, comprised of the Jackson Hyde Aquaman, both Blue Beetles, Blue Booster Gold, Dr. Light, and for some strange reason, Black Adam is questioning, how old are you? He's questioning Dr. Light about this, a woman probably in her 20s. Yes. The Frankenstein Monster, Killer Frost, Harley Quinn, the Damian Robin, and Supergirl. I'm like, that's interesting. Yes. Yeah, and also the Titan Spirit too. Yeah, and during the course of the story, get this. And this is one of the most strange things that happened here. The Secret Society of Civilians, led by King Deathstroke, destroy Titans Academy. Yeah, they destroy it. Yeah, the Titans Academy is practically destroyed. Yeah, you're thinking, really? Oh, yeah, really. Yeah, it's destroyed the very next issue. Yeah, the whole building is destroyed. Well, it's damaged anyways. Yeah, so basically the Titans Academy is gone because of, well, possessed Deathstroke. Mm-hmm. Yep. And there's a lot. By the way, they have Daniel Sampere doing the artwork here too. Nightwing is heavily involved in these events too. It's almost like, yeah, you took basically the big players off the board just to get a push for John, John Kent, Hal Jordan, and Nightwing. Yeah, and then of course basically this book switches over to, well, oh yeah, and it's implied Darkseid's the main villain, but nope, it's Pariah. Yeah, he's practically the main villain of this whole story. It seems strange, but he is. Yeah, you have basically the destruction of the Academy. Well, basically John's team disbanded and wrote, oh yeah, we're not the Justice League. We're the Titans. And basically they start basically a massive brawl. Yeah, that's only issue 3. But yeah. This book is a lot of fun. Yeah, and I do mean a lot of fun. Yeah. You have Batman becoming the Knight. Yes, seriously. Something called the Knight. I have no idea why you want to call himself the Knight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we just have a lot of stuff happening here, and by the end of this, the darkness is basically just sealed up and not was being corrupted by Pariah himself for reasons. Yes, reasons. We also the apparent death of Green Arrow in this story. Yes, we do have death of the Frankenstein monster. Yeah, he gets killed off in the story. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they decided to kill him off for, but they did. Also, the Chaldeans play a play in the story too. And then by the finale, well, the Justice League come back, and also there's a reference to the candle from when they did this the start of the miniseries, where apparently Dick Grayson kept the candle when he first initiated as Robin, and Batman admits, yeah, pretty sure you keep the candle. He just breaks it just to be his own man, and the Justice League disbands. Yes, the main Justice League team, which were missing, they disband at the end of the story. And the Titans basically take up the role of basically as the DC Marvel superheroes. Yep. Yeah, and also the Dark Army disbands. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Deathstroke apparently dies, but not confirmed the fact he died. But and then we see at the end of this, get this, the in-universe debut of The Light. And you're thinking, what the heck is The Light, you might ask? Well, they're from the TV show Young Justice. In the show, they were the board directors of Cadmus. And The Light was revealed to be the Secret Society suit villains led by Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we also see something about Peace Wrecker. Man of War associated with him too. Everything kind of goes back to the way it was. Legion of Doom gets involved in the story. It's almost like basically you could say that, and this is quite interesting though. It's almost like basically Josh Williams was fanboying out like a lot of the stuff in this book, and kind of in the way he did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you think, okay, the book ends. And by the way, this was released just the finale for this miniseries was only released like 8 months ago. Yeah, I really enjoyed reading the series again. I thought the series was really good. I'm gonna give this book give it a 9.5 out of 10. Tivia, don't be mad at me. I really enjoyed the book. I know you didn't like it, so don't be mad. Don't be yelling at me don't be mad at me because I like a book you didn't like. So there's that. Next up we have is The Newsboy Legion by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, Volume 1. This basically collects Adventure Comics. It's Star Spangled Comics. Issues 7 through 31. Covering the time period of April 1942 and concludes in May of 1944. Now, issue 7 is noteworthy for two things. The debut of the Jim Harper Guardian and the Newsboys. Yep. These superhero Newsboys are just basically his personal reporters. Like, he's basically their guardian. And basically the Guardian himself was mostly put a Captain America ripoff. And this version of Guardian was basically virtually intact until he died in the mid-2000s thanks to New Krypton stuff. Yep. Now, his real name is Jim Harper. He is, in fact, the uncle to Roy Harper, Red Arrow. Yes, and Leanne Harper, his daughter, is his great niece. Yep. Yeah. Is it interesting, though, that the uncle to one of the most beloved characters in DC comic history. Debuts back in the 40s. I think he debuts, I believe, just prior to... Because, let's see, it was 1942. The original Speedy made his debut in the basically about a year prior. So it's like, yeah, his uncle appears like a year later. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, post Flashpoint, they still kept the fact that the Guardian was in fact his uncle. Yep, they still kept that. Well, they referred to it as his great uncle for some strange reason. Yes. Oh yeah, and the Guardian we see is actually Jim Harper's clone. Yeah, but this book is just awesomeness because it's basically Jack Kirby. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna give this book roughly a 10 out of 10 because it's classic DC stuff. Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this particular review. I'm just gonna go ahead and work on Eden Zero. As for if I get a chance to work on the last one, Case Closed, that probably will happen at this point until tomorrow. Okay? But to the next video. Bye.